Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating stack of sources, all centered on Elizabeth Berg's novel, What We Keep.
Hmm.
And this isn't just, a plot summary. We're really digging into family memory, regret, and those moments that just completely upend a childhood.
Yeah, those seismic events. And the novel itself, What We Keep,
Yeah.
is our main focus here.
Right.
Our mission really is to follow the narrator, Ginny. What's so interesting is how the perspective shifts, We're with her as a 47-year-old woman flying to this pretty intense reunion.
Yeah.
But then we're also seeing everything through her eyes as a 12-year-old back in 1958.
And that back and forth, that's really the heart of it, isn't it? It forces Ginny, and us, I guess, to see how the past is still playing out right now.
Exactly. It's about confronting consequences.
Looking at the reviews, what jumps out is this, huge range of emotion. One calls it a journey through rejection and eventual redemption.
Redemption is a big theme.
Another highlights the mix of remarkable humor and incredible pain. Sounds like we're almost doing emotional archaeology here.
We really are. And the story kicks off immediately, sets the stakes high. We meet Ginny on a plane, headed to San Francisco.
Okay.
She's going to see her sister, Charla, and their mother, Marion, who they haven't seen in, 35 years?
35 years. Wow.
Mm.
And Ginny says the trip is about unfinished business. Sounds ominous.
It does, and you get these little details about Ginny right now. She orders a scotch on the plane.
Right, but she doesn't even like scotch.
Exactly. She says it's to lighten the load on their minds. And then she has this conversation with her seatmate, Martha.
Oh yeah, the mother horror stories.
Right. And Ginny kind of realizes that daughters hating their mothers for being the same as everyone else is, pretty common.
That little moment seems really important.
It is. It sort of crystallizes Ginny's own quest, which mirrors ours, like you said. She states it plainly. I want to go back to the time when I started to lose my mother and search for clues as to why and how.
She needs answers. She needs it to make sense.
A rational explanation for what felt like emotional chaos.
Okay, so let's go back with her. 1958, Clear Falls, Wisconsin. Before everything changes. What was life like then?
Oh, it was painted as incredibly stable, almost idyllic. You have Marion, the mother, Stephen, the father, and the two girls, Ginny and Charla. Life was a smooth and plodding thing, as comfortable as slippers.
Comfortable sleepers, that says a lot. Safe.
Totally safe. They'd read star lore under an old quilt. Right and wrong were easy to see. Big night out might be a trip to Dairy Queen.
Simple pleasures. Establishing that baseline seems key.
Definitely. So the disruption feels even bigger later on.
And Marion, the mother, she was sort of the anchor.
Absolutely. Ginny worshipped her, saw her as almost perfect, the auburn hair, blue eyes. Ginny even thought she might be linked to royalty.
Royalty. But there was that little flaw, right? The cowlick.
Yes, the unruly cowlick. Ginny worried it suggested kind of incompetence. It's such a small detail, but maybe prophetic.
Like a little crack in that perfect image.
Exactly. It hints that maybe this perfect domestic setup wasn't quite as solid as it looked. Maybe Marion was holding it together and that one little hair.
Yeah. So the real shift, the unraveling, it doesn't start with a huge explosion. It starts with a neighbor leaving. Mrs. O'Donnell.
Yeah, Mrs. O'Donnell moves to a nursing home, which the girls just see as a place where you died.
Grim.
And Ginny notices these sad little details about her life, like the rooster clock in the empty house, stuck at 1.47.
147.
What?
Why that detail?
Well, you could read it as foreshadowing, couldn't you? Like Marion's own life is about to get stuck, frozen in that 1950s homemaker role until something comes along to break the clock, basically.
And that something arrives pretty quickly.
Immediately, the new neighbor, Jasmine Johnson.
Yasmin. Even the
Yeah.
name sounds different.
Oh, totally. Ginny imagines it written in gold with ornate curlicues. Jasmine is like this bolt of lightning.
How so? What was so different about her?
Everything Marion wasn't. Independent, maybe a bit dangerous, definitely glamorous. Her voice was like Peggy Lee singing Fever. She's a bachelorette, wears perfume, a silky leopard print scarf, black sunglasses.
Wow. And a white bikini.
Yeah.
In 1958, Clear Falls.
Exactly. She represents this whole other world, this possibility of an identity outside the home. She basically gives Marion permission to even think about it.
Okay, wait. So Marion's change doesn't start from within initially. It's like she's absorbing Jasmine's energy.
That's a great way to put it. She starts testing the waters. making fancy dinners like Bella Vista chicken, skipping her regular coffee group to hang out with Jasmine.
Subtle shifts at first.
Yeah, but Ginny notices she sees her mom wearing Jasmine's flashy white hat, and the girls get a taste of it too.
The convertible ride?
Right. Jasmine takes them into town in her red and white Chevy, speeds away from a police car, laughing, yelling, "Hold on."
Mm.
It's thrilling, but also kind of reckless. A lesson in breaking the rules.
But that thrill must have turned sour pretty quickly for Ginny, because Marion starts, well, falling apart.
Yeah, the glamour fades and you see the deep trouble underneath. Marianne stops being the capable mom. She sleeps all day, reads Edna St. Vincent Millay poetry late at night.
Intense poetry.
And then comes the breakdown, the weeping, confessing things to the girl.
Oh, those confessions are brutal. Telling her daughter, "I think I've raised you so wrong."
And we're shouting, "I never even wanted children. That is nothing." I mean, can you imagine hearing that as a 12-year-old?
It's devastating. It attacks the very foundation of your world that you were wanted.
Completely. And the final, visual evidence of this breakdown is when Ginny sees her mom outside at midnight.
In her nightgown.
Yeah, flapping her arms like wings, walking in circles. Ginny tries so hard to make it make sense or just forget it, but how could you?
You couldn't. And while Marion's world is collapsing, the girls, Ginny and Charla, they're kind of building their own secret world together.
Yes, their bond deepens through this shared trauma, this forbidden knowledge. They sneak into Jasmine's house.
Right. Finding the minks. And the condoms. Rubbers, they call them.
Yeah. Suddenly, they're dealing with adult secrets, adult betrayals. They're forced to grow up way too fast.
And Ginny has that little summer romance, too, with Wayne.
Jasmine's nephew, or maybe son, it's a bit unclear. They have a marriage in a teepee, a first kiss. It's sweet, but...
But even that gets tainted.
Wayne reveals his father smacks his wife around, and that's why Jasmine left. It's like there's no escaping the darkness, the family dysfunction.
It really hangs heavy over everything.
Oh.
And looking back, the sources point out these clues that Marion felt trapped long before Jasmine, right? Like the parakeet.
Oh, lucky the parakeet. The realization, years later, that Marion probably let him go deliberately. Ginny thinks it would have fit. Of course she let him go.
Letting the bird go free.
Yeah.
The only freedom she felt she had.
Maybe. It's heartbreaking. And then there's that Thanksgiving photo.
The gap.
Yeah, everyone else is huddled together, but there's this specific 6-inch physical gap between Marion and her husband, Stephen. It screams emotional distance. The marriage was already cold.
So Jasmine wasn't the cause, maybe just the catalyst. Or the excuse.
Exactly. Which brings us to the end of that predictable life. Around Marion's 36th birthday, though the cake mistakenly says 35th.
Another little sign of things being off.
Right. She's not in the mood for celebrating. Instead, she throws a Tupperware party. It's almost painfully mundane.
A Tupperware party as the last act. And then the two things game happens.
That game feels like the final straw. Jasmine says, "I wanted to be an actress and I never loved my husband." Boom. Stunned silence.
And Marion, what were her two things?
One of them was just, today was her birthday? It's so deflated. A few days later, she says she's visiting her parents.
But she doesn't come back.
Never comes home.
Yeah.
Just gone.
How did Ginny even cope with that? The abandonment?
Her coping mechanism is really interesting psychologically. She basically decides the mother who raised her is dead.
Dead.
Yeah. And the woman who left, that's someone else, like a distant relative. It allowed her to survive, to compartmentalize the betrayal without fully feeling it at the time.
Wow. Okay, so let's fast forward. The dead mother eventually resurfaces.
Months later, she's changed. Short hair, wears jeans now, lives in this bare apartment. She's become an artist, sold paintings in Santa Fe.
An artist. That's a huge shift.
Yeah.
And she gives Ginny a painting for Christmas.
Yes, and that painting. It's basically Marion laying her soul bare. It shows a bird wearing high heels, pearls, and an apron, sitting chained to a tree with tiny pot holders for leaves. The sun in the sky was blue.
Whoa. That's incredibly specific.
It's a confession in paint, isn't it? This was me, trapped, domesticated, unhappy, the blue sun, everything unnatural.
But Ginny as a kid couldn't see that. She just saw the mom who left.
Exactly. Adult Ginny can decode it, but young Ginny just felt the anger, the hurt. When Marion tries to explain more about throwing her wedding rings in the river to feel full of magic...
They couldn't hear it.
No. Ginny and Charlotte were too wounded. They refused to see her again after that first meeting. The anger had just hardened over time.
That hardness, that certainty, that's what Marion's facing 35 years later in San Francisco.
Right. And the reunion starts with another layer of deception, doesn't it?
Charlotte's lie.
Yeah. Charlotte finally admits the real reason for the trip isn't just unfinished business, it's Marion. She's the one who's sick. Ovarian cancer.
And Cheryl lied because she thought Ginny wouldn't come otherwise.
Exactly. Suddenly, the power dynamic shifts. Marion isn't just the betrayer anymore. She's ill, vulnerable.
And it's in Marion's house, this beautiful sunny place, that the biggest secret comes out.
The core revelation. Marion tells them, yes, she and Jasmine were friends, but Jasmine slept with their father, Stephen.
Wow. Okay, so that's the betrayal that really pushed her out.
That was the immediate trigger. But Marion's explanation is complex. She says she floundered about so badly in Jasmine's affair, her irresistibility. It gave her the excuse she needed to leave the life she hated anyway.
So was the affair the real reason or just the convenient reason? A justification?
It's ambiguous, isn't it? Maybe a bit of both. She seems to have needed a reason that felt bigger than just her own unhappiness.
It feels like she's trying to explain, maybe excuse, the neglect. But she also shows regret, right? About haunting them.
Deep regret. She admits she'd go to places they might be restaurants, movies, just hoping to run into you, to see them. And she took their childhood books.
By the books?
Hoping she'd get to read them to grandchildren one day. Grandchildren she never met.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Especially when she says.
I would have been a good grandmother, though, I think. I was always good with babies. You just feel the weight of those lost years, the lost connections.
So how do the sisters react to all this, finally?
It's not instant forgiveness, but it's acceptance, maybe understanding. They kind of conclude together that Marion turned out just fine. And they have this realization, we always felt like we kind of had to take care of her.
Even as kids, they felt responsible for her.
Seems like it. And they start this process, this really moving process of reconciliation.
By listing their lives for her.
Yeah, methodically. Telling her about graduations, weddings, jobs, illnesses, giving her our life events to reconstruct so that she could put herself there.
They're literally rebuilding her place in their history.
Actively rewriting it, yeah. Allowing her to imagine herself as a mother who was present even though she wasn't. It's this incredible act of retroactive grace. It's not about excusing her, but about understanding the pressures she was under.
So pulling back, what's the big takeaway here for us, for the listener?
Well, it really hits hard on the pressures of motherhood, those crushing expectations, especially in that era, and also how judgment passes down through generations.
Right. Ginny thinks about her own daughters and knows she's going to take some serious hits when they judge her someday.
It's inevitable, isn't it? And ultimately, the story suggests Marion finds forgiveness, but it's tied to memory. She was forgiven in the way she was not forgotten.
She couldn't be erased.
No. Ginny realizes her mother is just part of her now. In her voice, the way she moves, that silk scarf past your ear whisper. Marion's integrated, finally.
And that final image Ginny has on the plane home. It's not the frantic woman anymore.
No. It's Marion sitting still at the kitchen table. Waiting, I see now. She was always waiting.
Waiting for what? An escape? Permission?
Maybe just. Waiting for things to change. Waiting for the darkness to lift. Which connects to that closing thought in the source material about time and memory.
Yeah, that quote is powerful. You think the sun will hang in the sky forever, but once it reaches a certain point in its descent, it goes so fast.
Then comes the darkness, which we illuminate artificially while we wait for the new day, for the rising up again of what once seemed lost.
It leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What parts of our own family stories are we illuminating artificially? And what lost things are just waiting in the dark to rise up again? Something to definitely chew on.